Call this meeting of the Board of Education to order. Chris, could you call the roll, please?
Mrs. Detzel?
Here.
Mr. Engel?
Here.
Mr. Detzel?
Here.
Mr. Healer?
Here.
Mr. Harlow?
Here.
Would you all please join me in the Pledge of Allegiance? I pledge
allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Everyone's received a copy of the meeting minutes from August 8th. Do I have a motion to accept the minutes?
So moved. Second.
It's been moved in second. Are there any corrections or additions? Chris? Motion passes 5-0. Okay, Michael, do you have a legislative update?
I have one small item, and that is that the meeting in Cincinnati that the Ohio Department of Education is hosting, it's on September 29th. This is the field hearing to receive input on the Every Student Succeed Act, the new federal education law. 10 public meetings around the state. One in Cincinnati that's going to be held on September 29th. The location has moved, and it's now going to be at the Cincinnati Hamilton County Community Action Agency offices, which is at 1740 Langdon Farm Road. It's over there. I guess you call that Rose Lawn. It's a little bit closer, actually, for us, which is good. So just want to put that up there.
Okay, thank you. Jim, do we have a Butler Tech update?
Yeah, just a couple of things here. Just a reminder that the all boards meeting is going to be October 11th at 5:30 for cocktails and hors d'oeuvres. Not cocktails.
Yeah, I was going to say.
Hors d'oeuvres. And then dinner at 6.
That's right.
And then our meeting November 21st is going to be at the Bioscience Building at 7:30. And that's at Cincinnati Dayton Road and I-75 is where the Bioscience Building is at. And then if you want to get a tour of the building, just be there at 6:30. Or if you can't be there, they'll do it afterwards. So other than that, everything is good. The year started off great. Our new superintendent, John Graff, said everything is going great. So.
Hey, Jim, don't feel bad about the cocktail thing. I don't know, about 10 years ago, we were talking about concessions at Corning High School football games.
I remember this.
I said something about, what about our beer sales? And I just didn't think high school kids beer sales at a football game. And everybody looked at me like, what planet are you from?
Oh, you're rid of LaSalle.
Okay. All right. With that, we will move into reports from employee organizations. Do we have anyone from certificated or licensed employees? Classified? Report from school-related organizations. I do have one request for community comments. Mr. Acker.
Take your time.
I'm coming, Jim, I have a double crown royal.
Let me get that for you.
Good evening, board. Good to be back to see you all here again. And first off, I'd like to thank the board and particularly Northwest School parents up there for a Friday night football game. I don't know what the final score was, but my team was winning when I left. My grandson didn't get to play, but it was good to see the first graders all the way through the sixth grade football team, and also the cheerleaders. And the cheerleaders done a good job with the high school cheerleaders there. I don't know how many of them got to stay around, but girls particularly were very cute there. As I told Chris, I'm not here to jump on him tonight. Chris, thank you for that ramp and handicap area up there. It's very nice, very beautiful. I'm sure the school in the future is going to have some kind of patrols along through there, because I don't have anything against mothers with kids, but there's about 3 strollers that were parked in where the handicap was supposed to be. But you know, it's a special night. The kids were down there cheering, playing football and all. It was very, very nice. Is that Ms. Key in the back? Hi, Jenny. I hope you or somebody from Northwest Press can get out and see that ramp that's over at Northwest, the same, I say almost the same type. It's going to be at Corrine High School. And if you could, print an article in the newspaper about us old people who are handicapped or just walk with canes or crutches or wheelchairs or whatever. There will be seating available in the Corrine High School Stadium, as well as Northwest High School Stadium for football and soccer games.
She was there on Friday night.
I didn't see her.
She was there.
I've seen Mr. Harlow and his wife and their beautiful 2 kids on one side. I've seen there. Besides that, thank you for the entertainment we had there Friday night. I thought it was very special for all the kids at night. Have a happy day.
Thank you.
All right, I'll start with approval of superintendent's consent items. The first is a fiscal item, financial reports of the treasurer in accordance with section 3313.29 of the revised code of the state of Ohio. Record needs to be made that the treasurer submitted a financial statement of receipts, expenditures, balances, and investments in the regular funds of the Board of Education for the period of the fiscal year 2017. Treasurer and superintendent recommend the Board of Education approve the financial reports as listed.
So moved.
Second.
It's been moved and seconded. Are there any questions?
Just a question, it's kind of not really related to this, but financial in nature. I did have a citizen ask me over the weekend when the next upload to the Ohio checkbook is going to be.
We've uploaded the whole fiscal year 2016. It's already
Oh,
out there.
okay. Okay, great. I didn't have a chance to look. So I
Yeah,
ran into a
it-
guy at the park or something.
It's out there, so I think we have 6 full years.
6 full
Out
years,
on-
great.
Amy, did you see how many schools are now involved? We were the first, and there's dozens.
Taking off.
Yeah.
Great. I'm really glad that we've been at the forefront of this.
Any other comments or questions? Okay, Chris, can we call for the vote? Motion passes 5-0.
The next item is a certificated licensed personnel item. It is certificated licensed personnel retirements and resignations. The superintendent recommend the Board of Education approve the certificated licensed personnel retirements and resignations as listed.
So moved.
Second.
Moved and seconded. Are there any questions regarding the certificated and licensed personnel retirements and resignations? Okay, Chris? Motion passes 5-0.
The next item is a classified personnel item, classified retirements and resignations. The superintendent recommends the Board of Education approve the classified retirements and resignations as listed.
So moved.
Second.
It's been moved and seconded. Are there any questions? Chris? Motion passes 5-0.
Next item is a fiscal item. It is vendor contracts. In compliance with ORC 3313.33, attached is a list of vendors' contracts requiring board authorization. Superintendent and treasurer recommend the Board of Education authorize the vendor contracts as listed.
So moved.
Second.
Moved and seconded. Any questions on the vendor contracts?
Todd, on the contract for NovaCare, there's no charge for that for Pleasant Run Middle? Is that what I'm reading?
I believe that's included with their high school coverage,
Oh, okay,
is what we were
okay.
told. Yep. And it just develops a relationship between the trainers and the athletes, so when they move through the high school, they're already aware who they are.
Any other questions? Okay, Chris? Motion passes 5-0.
The next item is a fiscal item also. It is then and now certificates over $3,000. Ohio Revised Code, Section 5705.41 states that in part that no subdivision shall make any contract or give any order involving the expenditure of money unless there is attached thereto a certificate by the treasurer. Then and now certificates by the treasurer issued over $3,000 must be authorized by the Board of Education. Superintendent and Treasurer recommend the Board of Education authorize the payments over $3,000 requiring a then and now certificate as listed.
So moved.
Second.
Moved and seconded. Are there any questions regarding the then and now certificates? Okay, Chris? Motion passes 5-0.
The next is a general business item. It is grant of easement at Colerain Elementary School. Grant of easement at Colerain Elementary School for the installation of the new transforming feed, the new electrical service for the air conditioning improvements. I just want to bring to your attention, it's a small section where if the transformer is completed and it has been put in place, that we can start the air conditioning sooner at Colerain L and Colerain Middle. Chris, do you have an update on when it might?
They're hoping they can turn part of it on later this week, but the majority we should be able to turn everything on.
So the superintendent recommends the Board of Education approve the grant of easement request at Colerain Elementary by Duke Energy as listed.
So moved.
Second.
Moved and seconded. Are there any questions regarding this?
Just a comment. I was out at one of the schools on the first day, and it Pleasant Run Middle, and some of it's air conditioned, some of it's not, and you can really tell the difference in that. So it's got to be a very welcome addition to Colerain Elementary. When I went to school, like one of them, I was never in a building that was like half air conditioned. It was either like my high school was not air conditioned and the other ones were, so you didn't really notice the difference. But boy, when you're in that building, you really notice the difference.
Anybody else? Chris? Motion passes 5-0.
The next item is a general business item also. It is dedication of a permanent private drainage easement for stormwater detention. This is located at the Northwest High School football soccer field. The superintendent recommends the Board of Education accept the dedication of permanent private drainage easement for stormwater detention per the attached documents.
So moved.
Second.
It's been moved and seconded. Are there any questions? Chris?
Next item is a certificated licensed personnel item. It is certificated licensed personnel items. The superintendent recommends the Board of Education approve their certificated licensed personnel items as listed.
So moved.
Second.
Moved and seconded. Any questions on the certificated and licensed personnel items? Chris? Motion passes 5-0.
Next item is a classified personnel item. The superintendent recommends the Board of Education approve the classified personnel items as listed.
So moved.
Second.
Moved and seconded on classified personnel items. Any questions or comments? Chris? Motion passes 5-0.
The next item is a student services item. It is for the Northwest High School cross-country team, an extended athletic trip. Northwest High School cross-country team will travel to their sister school in Boardman, Ohio for a cross-country competition. They call it their sister school because they are also Northwest High School. Superintendent recommends the Board of Education approve the Northwest High School cross-country field trip as listed.
So moved.
Second.
Moved and seconded. Are there any questions or comments? I'd just like to wish them good luck. Chris? I guess I'll wish them good luck after we pass this. Now I wish them good luck. Motion passes 5-0.
Next is the superintendent's update. So I had 3 things. Now I have 2. Just a reminder of what Jim told you. We will start at 7:30 at the Bioscience Building. We'll arrange tours before and after. September 12th on your board calendar was listed as a work session to be determined. We will have the work session. and we will also have 2 to 3 items that need approval. My question is, do you want to keep it at 7 o'clock and keep it here, or I was going to move it to HCESC like we've done our other work sessions at 6 o'clock and provide dinner? The items we need to talk about is the changes in the state report card, state data, board policy update, administrative guidelines, which I've sent you emails on, but I'd like to explain it so you know what you're looking at through Neola, master facility update if needed, and wondering if you want to move it to HCESC and if 6 o'clock works for you on September 12th.
I think that's a nice facility, yeah. Is everybody okay with that? That's 6 o'clock on the 12th.
All right,
6.
the next item I know has been brought to all of your attentions through email is to talk about our enrollment process. The good thing is we've enrolled 587 since August 1. The bad thing is we didn't have enough adults in place to take on 587 enrollments. What we run into with enrollments, our parents and people who move in the district sometimes know school starts early and sometimes it doesn't. Across the state, everybody's starting earlier, so enrollment came faster. When you get this large amount, it takes the average person over at enrollment about 10 to 15 minutes to put it into Dazzle. You have to be very careful and very slow about the process, because if you enter it wrong, it spits out a wrong student ID number, and then that's really a pain to go back and get that changed, as we know. So they're very meticulous about how they do it. It takes time. What the hard part becomes for us is we put extra bodies in there, but then when school started, the extra bodies came out. But if you go from last Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday, and school started on Thursday, there was over 300 enrollments just those 3 days alone. So Daryl has been working with Pauletta to look at a system to get folks in there, maintain them in there, train some of our folks here in our office. We'll send our folks over to help also. It's not a lack of effort on Matt and his staff. Matt and his ladies in enrollment have done an outstanding job. They worked Saturday for 8 hours. They worked Sunday for 8 hours. It's just, you got to prepare for 2 to 3 weeks of just, here they come. And you can't designate and hire employees just to be there. So we've got to train folks internally and do a better job. Our goal is 2 to 3 days, but no more than that after they enroll a student. I know one of you had an email, finalize the paperwork on the 17th, which means the 18th, 19th, and now today's the 3rd day. They will get the paperwork tomorrow and start school tomorrow. So we want it to be faster. We do want our kids in school, and as Matt's on the same page with me, and so is Pauletta and Daryl. It's just very difficult when you get 587, but we need these kids in school. So we are looking at making changes to help that happen more efficient next year.
I have a question, and I know everybody's working hard, and I don't think that's the question at all. I think with the families, and again, I know some of them wait till the last minute, or they don't fill out their paperwork correctly, and so on and so forth, and all that's very important. And I don't know what happened, I didn't touch this, and it's shutting down, just letting everybody know here. But anyhow, is there any way maybe, and it kind of goes back to communication, we communicate, and yet we still need to communicate. I mean, Jenny, is there any way we could team with you, maybe to start some stories really early in the summer? I think sometimes, like the average person, I don't even know if us up here, I know a little bit more now after talking to Todd a couple times this week, people probably just think, oh, we go in, fill out a few papers, and our kids go to school, but obviously there's a lot more to it than that. And maybe if people read this and understand it's more of a process and it's got to be done sooner, because of course all our goal is to get the kids in on time, that would help. And then, and I'm not sure, I know I walked around the health fair, but could we maybe even have somebody, I know we got a lot of our students over at Northgate. Is there any way that we could maybe try to grab some of those people? I mean, shoot, if 15 of them are new, that's 15 less that's going to come in the day school starts.
Yeah, the other thing we're looking at is Chris McKee is looking with the technology department about an online system where they could enroll their kids. At least that information could then hopefully be transferred to Dazzle and a method where they would talk to each other, which expediates some things. But yeah, the problem, one of the problems is Matt, Colerain football team, and even the Northwest over at Northbrook went out in the neighborhoods and passed out all these enrollment packets. Well, they filled them out. Where we were worried about being 600 kids short at the beginning of August, we're fine and in good shape. Mm-hmm. So it's just getting them to understand, just like you said, communicating. Don't wait till 2 or 3 days before, because it is a system that takes time. And then it's kind of like you need to put all the things to remember. The name on the birth certificate of the parent is who has to enroll the child. It's just reminders like that also that we can put out.
Because the average person, they only are thinking about themselves and their family and not realizing there's 400 other people that are
Well,
doing this too.
Daryl had a great idea about sharing our data, one with the folks like West Shell and some of those who are moving in. The
Well,
other
that's
thing
a
we could
good
do is
idea.
share some enrollment information with them and go through that process also.
And we've been developing stronger, more robust partnerships with a lot of the churches, so getting things out through them so they can communicate to their parishes about the process and the timelines as well.
If you see a lot of people moving into some of the apartment complexes, there's a packet that they can put in. You probably can't say anything to a prospective tenant because they give the discrimination. But once somebody's signed a lease, they give them papers, and so maybe that's something that could be put
Well,
into
if
the
nothing
apartment
else, a
complexes.
fact finder, and if we can get it online, go to this website, or if you can't, visit this address and we'll assist and help them. But 587 is a lot, but we still got it. It wasn't 587 last year, but it was still 300 and we still had some complaints. So we got to do something and continue to work and get better.
And ironically, starting even earlier next year, that 587 could even be larger because people wait till the last minute.
Well, you know, the other idea would be, in the particular case where we all got the same email, you know, they're closing the day before school starts. Is there any way that, you know, in good faith, that you put them like in a holding file so that you have all the information, they're all the way to a certain point of the enrollment, and when they come in with their final paperwork, then it's just
Then it pulls them right back up
of
front.
releasing
To
them.
my knowledge, that's what they currently do. Now, we did have a couple things slip where papers were handed in July, but they were missing one paper that they didn't get a phone call about till they showed up on the 17th of August. So that one slipped through us, but yes, that's the way they do it. As soon as you get your stuff in, you do go back to where you were in order. And wanted to address a couple things from Mr. Acton. I agree, and Chris and I already talked. We've got to clear out that handicap section. There are people blocking views. I've also been on the horn with Mr. Fisher and Mr. Braddock's about arranging a golf cart to drive over to where the ramp is for the Colerain Stadium. I think Jack has graciously volunteered to drive that golf cart over. But we're working on that also and getting students to assist. So I appreciate your positive comments and thank you very much, and that's all I have.
Okay. Okay, at this point, anybody in this audience want to talk community comments? If there's any questions regarding anything we've talked about at the meeting? Okay.
One question.
Yes,
The agenda for the meeting,
yes.
how can I draw that up on my 1901 computer?
Should be able to go to our district website and then go to school board. I don't know, Chris, can you pull it up, and see what the exact?
Yeah, I can, if you would like to stop and give me your information, and I'll send you some instructions.
Great.
Okay. Anybody else?
The next item is the OSBA 2016 appointment of delegate and alternate for annual business meeting. OSBA 2016 appointment of delegate and alternate for annual business meeting in November 2016. Superintendent recommends the Board of Education appoint a delegate and alternate for the OSBA annual meeting.
This is where everybody always argues over who's going to get to do it.
This is where I'll probably end up doing it anyway.
I-
Thanks, Michael, for,
You're
You live there anyway.
yeah, you did
Yes.
volunteer.
Yeah.
Our legislative liaison has
Usually.
volunteered to be our delegate.
And the alternate?
And we
Anyway.
need an alternate. Who else will be attending?
Is that the one on the 13th, or is this a different one?
Is that meeting on Monday morning,
Typically, it's,
or is it Sunday?
no, it's
No,
on
it's not
Sunday.
Monday.
That's Monday.
And
Yeah.
typically, the alternate only has to attend it if the delegate cannot.
It's like Monday afternoon. Probably lasts about an hour and a half at the most.
A long hour and a half.
That's fine, I'm going to be there anyhow, so,
Okay,
on
all
Monday.
right,
So Michael will be the representative and Bob will be the alternate.
sweet.
That's the 13th,
14th.
14th.
14th is Monday, yeah.
You'll get a little tag, a little flag thing hooked to your name tag that says you're an alternate. When you sign in. I know.
Pulling out all the stops up there.
Did you go last year, Bob?
No, I did
Okay,
not.
so you'll get the new member badge and
Oh,
you'll get the alternate.
he'll have two little
And you'll get the
ribbons.
vice president too, so they'll have at least 3.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay, so I think we'll call for a vote on this before they change their minds. Oh, yes, we were getting excited.
So
I
moved.
thought I missed it.
Second. It's been moved and seconded. Is there any questions? Okay, Chris. Okay, motion passes 5-0. Thank both of you. And now we will go into board members' comments. Chris, do you have anything?
Just a couple quick things, Pam. Was over at Colerain High School tonight, watching the 7th, 8th grade game, and I think I mentioned to you, Chris, but how nice the vocational part of the careers, and I'm still back in the 70s, vocational school looks, and the construction that's going on over there, and I think we've gotten off to a good start, and appreciate everything everybody's done.
Great. Michael?
I went to the dedication of the football field, the Northwest High School football field. It was very nice. Everybody, all the donors and the boosters worked really hard on that, and it's just great to see. It's a great looking field. The colors really pop. It feels just like being on a college or pro field. It is really, really nice. Also, as I mentioned earlier, got to take part in some of the first day of school festivities at Pleasant Run at Northwest High School with the superintendent who brought me around, and just wish everyone a really, really successful year. Looks like we hit the ground running.
Okay, Bob?
Ditto on the Northwest. Very good job on all of the facilities out there, and wish them the best with their new outside facilities. And it was great. Talked to some parents that took their students to the kindergarten preview day with they were Colerain L, and they said it was really warm. So everybody's. I know some teachers that teach on the 3rd floor, and they're all getting excited about the air conditioning. So that's great. Hopefully by the end of the week and first part of next week we'll be up and operational.
Jim?
Yeah, I just want to ditto what you guys said. That was awesome there. Friday night at Northwest is when I graduated. They didn't even have the football field there, and it was awesome seeing that and the facilities and things are rolling and the track looks good. Once they get those lines, when are they going to paint those lines on there, Todd? This week.
Well, they're going to try to get it done by the 3rd, but he's still holding that 1st through the 10th. But I think they're wanting to play a soccer game on the 3rd. So
Okay.
they're working around it.
Okay. And then I had talked to Chris on Friday night about how poor the track is over at Colerain. I went walking around there today and counting like 20 tears in the track, and I know we've got to do something with that, because to be honest with you, if I was a coach in another school, I wouldn't bring my team over to run on the track. It's that bad. Because we've got the longest running track meet in the city. The one that's held at Colerain every year. It's been going on for, I don't know, 55, 60 years, whatever that is. And we need to try and see if we can get this rectified before then, so we don't lose that track meet. So, and I know the fence is in bad shape too. I know you'd have to take care of that fencing first before you do the track, but that we need to do something over there because that's in pretty bad shape. That's it.
I was running over there.
Disadvantage of going last, I'm going to say some of the same things,
Think something else.
but honestly, the Northwest dedication was awesome to be an alumni, and as Jim said, it was so cool. In fact, I've looked at pictures after the fact to see Todd and Steve Daly and those of us that were there to think, we were students there before we even had a football field. Our home games were played over at Colerain, so that was very exciting. And then to see how many alumni that were there and still giving back to the high school, and all the little kids, oh, and they were so impressed with those big scissors that were real and very heavy, by the way. They were just like, oh, can I touch them? But it was neat. And to see Carol Mybers, who is a long time, she's been retired, but was a teacher and a counselor when we were all in school, and her out there on the field, it was just very, very exciting. And it obviously it takes more than just a couple people, but Joe Pollitt was the AD that kind of got things rolling, along with, and then Brad's continued it, and I know he probably hasn't slept in a week getting it all ready. And then Dana Schoen and Dorothy working with all the fundraising, along with so many other families, some that have kids in the district, some that went to Northwest, some that not. So to see the Mighty Knights there, and like you said, the cheerleaders and the little ones, and to see how excited they were, and the two little guys that got to hold the ribbon. I mean, they'll always remember that, and that it was really, really exciting. So, and then had the opportunity, my neighbor and I walk, and on Saturday was walking around Pleasant Run Middle and seeing all the Mighty Knights there, and just thinking, wow, this time next year, this is going to be a construction site. And so these are good, exciting times, and want to thank everybody, and especially the staff that did work Saturday and Sunday to get these kids enrolled and to get them in school so they don't miss any time. We truly appreciate all those efforts. And with that, I'm going to move into, I have a motion to move into executive session to consider the appointment, employment, dismissal, discipline, promotion, demotion, or compensation of a public employee or official.
So moved.
Second.
It's been moved and seconded. Do we have any questions or comments? There is a possibility we could take a motion, or we might not. So I'm not sure how long we'll be in there, but with that, Chris, call for the vote. Motion passes 5-0. Also, one last thing, want to wish good luck to all our athletic teams. I know this starts the season with everything this week, so I want to wish everybody good luck. So with that, we're going to go down the hall. Thank you. Okay, do I have a motion to end executive session?
So moved. Second.
It's been moved and seconded. Any questions? Okay, Chris, call for the vote. Motion passes 5-0. Do I have a motion regarding the superintendent's evaluation, the superintendent and treasurer's evaluation and contract?
Yeah. Yes, Pam. I'd like to make a motion that I hereby move that the Northwest Board of Education award both our superintendent, Mr. Todd Bowling, and our treasurer, Mrs. Amy Wells, a 2.5% raise retroactive to August 1, 2016.
Second that.
Second.
It's been moved and seconded. Does anybody have any questions or comments?
I think both are doing an exceptional job, and look forward to continuing to work with both of you in the future.
And I would like to echo that as well. And with that, I'll call for the vote. Will that work? We're talking?
Yes, but don't end the meeting so I can add something.
Oh, sure.
I mean, you can do the vote.
Okay, do the vote. Motion passes 5-0. Do I hit?
Not yet.
Okay, with that, I would, do I have a motion to adjourn the meeting?
So moved.
Second.
It's been moved and seconded. Any questions or comments? Okay, Chris? Motion passes 5-0. Call this meeting of the Board of Education as adjourned.